تحياتي لك ولجميع المشاهدين. واضح
Greetings,
هناك معادلة تريدها إسرائيل
everyone.
أن كلما
In
قصف
fact,
تل أبيب
there is an equation here carried out by Israel. The more Israel is bombed, the more Beirut is bombed. But the resistance in Lebanon didn't bomb Tel Aviv. It bombed a military base in Tel Aviv. And in fact, the resistance until now only targets Israeli military centers. But it never targeted the settlements, Israeli settlements, whether in Tel Aviv or outside of it, whether directly or indirectly, unless there is a military presence in these areas. However, it seems that Israel has exhausted all the military goals of it in Lebanon. They have bombed all the Hezbollah centers that they know of, whether through intelligence reports or through any other way. And they started now a different phase, which is a phase of complete and utter demolishing of civilian areas. Right now, they are demolishing, bombing and shelling villages in order to make these villages void of all housing, buildings, and inhabitants. This is happening in the Beirut, Dahia, or suburb, and the Al-Bika villages. The Israeli occupation forces, in fact, are now creating massacres in these areas. And in fact, when Israelis were asked about the targeting of these civilian areas that they know for sure are void of any military presence, the Israelis said, when they were asked about this, that they were targeting these areas in order to just disrupt the trust and confidence between Hezbollah and Lebanese nationals. And so it is evident that what Israel is doing right now is psychological warfare. They are trying to demoralize Hezbollah and the Lebanese nationals as well. They have another goal. In fact, the Israelis want to want Hezbollah to incur the responsibility of the suburb and the Lebanese village damage. And in fact, the Lebanese nationals and the Lebanese state or government are the ones that are going to incur the loss and damage of these operations and their outcomes. And so right now, and through Hochstein paper, which is a paper that was leaked to the government, state was leaked between what was happening between the government of Lebanon and Netanyahu.
Now, of course, a few days ago, we saw Donald Trump's victory in the United States in the presidential elections. Does his entrance to the White House in January mean that between now and then, there's a chance of a ceasefire, or will we have to wait until after he's in the White House? And what's the likelihood of it?
Right now, the States is in a transitional phase. In fact, the previous ruling authority is not really motivated to do any achievements. And the coming President Donald Trump needs some time to have his ducks in a row, to put his ducks in a row and to actually regularize and look into the statuses of the American foreign policy and the American relations with all countries. In fact, it seems that there is an attempt that China is going to carry out in order to terminate the war in Lebanon. And I think that this move, if it took place by the Biden administration, it'll be just to, represent some kind of a historical move that the Biden administration can terminate its presidential term with. And in fact, Biden's Lebanese associate or assistant, Mossad Boulos, said that Trump is going to start working on terminating the war in Lebanon on his very first day. But we can't really count on these claims because until now, Netanyahu does not seem to budge about any kind of American effort to terminate or to stop the war, to create a ceasefire. In fact, the goals that have been announced, whether in the Gaza war or relative to the Lebanon war, in fact, relative to the Gaza war, they said that they were aiming to terminate Hamas and to restore hostages. But in fact, Netanyahu said that he wants to return the settlers from Israel to the south of Lithuania. And so we can see that Netanyahu is going to get into a phase that is characterized by extreme escalation, because Netanyahu is never going to admit failure in his military operations. And in fact, the Galin, after he exited the government, and Hart ibn Hanivi and some chief Israeli officials, they all said that this war has become extremely costly because it doesn't have a compass, it doesn't have well-set values or goals, And so the perpetuating of these Israeli military operations are going to put a toll on the Israeli state and are not going to be fruitful at all. As well, when it comes to the land incursion of Gaza from the end of the Israeli occupation forces, the Israelis found out that this land incursion is going to be extremely costly, and they are going to, in fact, exert a lot of efforts in order to land in villages that are 1,000 kilometers away from the borders. And so it seems that Netanyahu might resort to some kind of political settlement. However, no political settlement is going to take place unless it is a settlement that guarantees the goals, the Israeli goals for the Israeli government and their achievement.